Welcome to the Four Brewers podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I am joined by
Jason Harris. We're back, baby.
Greg Nagel.
And Tim Mather.
And yeah, like Jason said, we are back. It's been a long time. I think our last show that we recorded was in November last year.
It was.
Wait, who are you guys?
And it was called "And We're Back."
This isn't my HR Zoom meeting.
Tim, we've been wanting to talk about your performance in the office. Our return to work logs show that you have not made the mandatory punches into the building this week.
Sounds like you've got some experience, Jason.
Yeah. They're not doing that yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, but like I said, back in November was our last show, and it's still on YouTube. I never released that show. A lot has happened over the last year with me personally. I think I went over some of it back when we came back the first time, whenever that was. But my mom passed away, and then I had to sell my dad's house, and then I bought a house, and then we moved to the house, and then we had to do all these upgrades and do our backyard and spend a whole lot of money. I think I dropped like 25 grand on my house, which is crazy.
Plus, you spent a while in a van solving mysteries.
What? Like Scooby-Doo style?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're driving around solving mysteries.
Not quite.
We're just
what
trying
have you guys
to
been up to?
Driving around in a van solving.
Yeah. You pull the mask off the guy, and it's Jim Cook from Sam Adams. Like, I knew it the whole time.
You've been ruining all our IPAs.
Yeah, what the hell, Jim? You've been taking a bath in wort.
Would have gotten away with it too if you hadn't stolen all my yeast I used to not get drunk.
I forgot about that.
That's a good old school callback.
Oh my god. Yeah, Anchor Brewing is no longer a thing. Which
Yeah.
I think we killed it. I think because the show was gone. We didn't.
Well,
we could have given them the 4B bump at Christmas, like we always do.
Oh yeah.
But wait, last I heard, they had approved a potential employee buyback. Did that happen?
There was nothing approved. It was and it was, they were talking about it, but I don't think anything ever got approved.
Got it.
If they bought anything back, I mean, I think Sapporo is the ones who owned them. That property they're on in San Francisco is probably worth bank. And
I'm sure.
I'm sure they're gonna definitely sell that piece of land to somebody else and make a lot of money off of it. If Sapporo is going to make any of their money back, but if they get bought out, I think it'd be like a brand buyout kind of thing. I don't even know if they could be a brewery anymore, or maybe they would be like brewing somewhere else. I don't know. You
could make that steam beer anywhere in the world, and it would probably taste exactly the same. There's nothing special about their old brew house other than it's old. It's just been made there for a long time.
As far as like technically, no, but their old brew house is cool as fuck.
It is, yeah, 100%.
Can't you taste that when they brew the beer?
It's the only multi-story brewery I've been to where like it's vertically built because it's in San Francisco, where like they fucking bring in the wort on the top floor and shit goes down and bottling is down here.
They used to pump the wort. They used to pump the wort to the ceiling and air cool it before pumping it into fermenters. They didn't have a proper chiller until like the 70s or 80s or something like that. I was trying to find. Cool. I interviewed Fritz Maytag at one of those CCBA things in Sacramento, and I was trying to find the recording because it's such like a classic thing. He made fun of my camera because it was a white Pentax. I'll never forget that. But all the stories they had for like how they built their brewery and like they just had no idea what they're doing. They painted the inside of their fermenters with like black tar, like stuff to like like I have no idea how they even made quality beer.
Why?
Like to waterproof it on the inside. I don't know, man.
Everything crazy they did was like real old school and like
it's like very hackery.
Well, yeah, it's like they were. I think they operated at a size that like the big brewery stuff from Europe and whatever just didn't really apply to them, and they were just kind of having to figure their own shit out. R.I.P. Anchor. We don't have any of their beer.
I
Actually,
was
you
really
might.
bummed.
I have a
when,
bottle. I saved a bottle.
I was bummed when they announced that they weren't going to sell the our special ale this year, and it was only going to be on tap. That was, I mean, aside from them shutting down as a business, that's even more of a bummer. But that's legit one of my favorite beers, and if I could buy it year round, I would.
Yep.
But
Yeah, it's Anchor Steam was my actual first craft beer when I was in high school. My buddy Tom came over to like a party and he had a 6-pack of it, and I was like, "Fuck, that's a rad label!" And we cracked a bottle, and that was like my first. I mean, we always drank beer, but we just drank High Life and stuff like that. And
So-
I fell in love with it. It was great.
So Anchor, leading into just in general, what is the state of old craft beer now in the year of our Lord 2023? It's in a weird spot, right?
I think you just got,
It-
it's basically Sierra Nevada and some smaller, like locally owned breweries, like what's the one I'm
And
thinking of? out
and
of the
Voodoo
Midwest?
Ranger.
No.
No, Voodoo
Voodoo
Ranger's like the
Ranger.
top selling fucking IPA in the country.
Yeah,
Oh, I
for
thought
sure.
you meant as far as craft breweries go that are left.
Oh,
Yeah, Voodoo
well-
Ranger is definitely very popular. We've talked about that before. I've seen people. When I go buy beer, I'm always buying Swamis, and I want to say 50% of the time when I go there, there's someone buying some kind of a Voodoo Ranger tall boy, stovepipe can or something.
I was on the Reddit, the beer subreddit, which going on Reddit is always regretful, but
I've gotten more into Reddit over the last year in a
so-
positive way. Like, I
Oh,
like it.
Reddit's really
Yeah.
negative. But somebody's in there and they're just like, yeah, I had the Voodoo Ranger Juice World or whatever, and it was like the worst beer I ever had. And I'm like, you need to have more beer because
Yeah.
that beer
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I see it. Like all the Voodoo Ranger beers are fine. I don't like that they're so high in alcohol.
That's the
but
thing right
That's
now.
a feature.
Dude, it's
of
like
beer.
19 ounce,
Stovepipe.
9% cans are
I know.
like everywhere now.
Dude, it's the new Mad Dog 2020, honestly. Like $4 for just getting shit faced on one can of beer.
I guess. That's too much for me. I'd rather get
It is.
faced on.
This
6
is not
cans of beer.
9% though. This is like 7, but I got a 19 ouncer. This is like a local craft brewery busting out with the freaking stovepipe.
What is it?
What
I can't
brewery
read
is
it.
that?
Sky Duster beer? Never fucking heard of them. Trying something new.
Well, speaking of beer, I'm going to start with my first beer. This is a brewery that's new to me, out of San Diego. This is Harlan Brewing, and
I
if
just
that's
met those
gonna show
guys.
up. There we go. This is their Japanese lager.
They have a whale on it? Oh wait, no, that's specifically India Pale Whale, I think.
what?
They have a beer called India Pale Whale.
Oh, I haven't tried any of their IPA, which is kind of ironic. But yeah, I randomly bought this beer. I moved to Menifee, and there's a store called Barron's. They're like I want to say like a poor man's Whole Foods, but they're like a scaled down Whole Foods. Like they have a fresh food bar you can buy hot food from, and it's like a mix of it's not really vegan focused or organic focused. It's like kind of everything. But they have a great beer selection. And since I'm so close to San Diego, it's mostly San Diego breweries. So I bought this beer. It's their Japanese lager, and it is fantastic. It's my go-to beer if I want something that's super clean and crisp and easy drinking. 5% alcohol, and it's made with jasmine rice and toasted rice flakes. So, and I think Greg, you mentioned you just talked to Harlan. You got FerkFest coming up this year.
Yeah, it's Firkenstein Craft Beer Festival on 10/7 Saturday, 4 to 8 p.m. downtown Anaheim. It's the most incredible lineup I've ever seen at a beer festival, besides like Firestone. So
Feed my fucking sign.
I'll get a discount code going for our 4B. But I'd love to see
a
lot of
you
people
haven't had
there.
it for 4 years, right?
2019. Yeah. We've we finally found another location, so that was like the one thing that we're always missing. Where we used to have it before, outside at the packing house it was called Farmers Park, and there's like restaurants there now, and they're moving a bar into the middle of the park.
Yeah, they keep adding stuff into that open
so it's like-
space. Every time I'm near there, I'm like, there's less and less of this little field that was here.
Yeah, right. So it's just not. I mean, it's if you chopped it in half, it would still work just on that boardwalk area, but it's like you kind of want to 30 breweries is the sweet spot. And
you were a pretty small fest anyways, right?
yeah,
So
I don't want to keep
cutting
it small.
Cutting it in half, like I think it's maybe a little too much.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too much, right?
It was
So
a good size, yeah.
We're moving to where Anaheim Ice is. If you've ever been to Windsor Browns, if you look out from their patio, there's this like traffic circle with a tree in the middle, and that tree is decorated for Halloween and Christmas. And so we'll be surrounding that, and there's plenty of seating, there's shade, there's parking. Like, it's a pretty good location.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, that whole little area around Windsor Browns is pretty cool. So that
And I recommended Harlan to you. Are they going to be there? Are you still talking to them?
I just met them at Everywhere. The whole team was there. They're like 20 guys show up and just like doing like an employee appreciation thing.
See, if they're doing a collab with Everywhere, they're good. I'm just
yeah, right. I was like, by the way, I only have one San Diego brewery as of yet. They're like, who? I was like, Taproom Beer. You remember Daniel Katie? It's all the people who left McKellar went to Taproom Beer. And I was like, I love Daniel Katie. So naturally he's in. I've never tried the beer, but I'm sure it's delicious. But if we can get Harland or anybody else to join up, there's still a couple spots available.
You got some IE/Temecula Murrieta breweries.
Yes, I got Solaris and 8-Bit
going. Yeah, 8-Bit and Solaris, which again, I moved further south, and so I'm basically a half hour closer to those breweries, which means they're like 15 minutes away from my house, which is awesome because Solaris and 8-Bit are both excellent.
Two of my favorite breweries, honestly. Like anytime I'm out in that area, it's like that's where we meet. We go to 8-Bit for food, and
yeah, the food at 8-Bit is fantastic too, especially if you're vegan. They have everything, and their vegan stuff isn't just like phoned in. It's actually well thought through, and it's very good. They have vegan chicharrones. That's like, it's not
like deep fried rice paper.
Yeah,
it crackles though.
That vegan cheesesteak that when we were down there that your wife had was like that looked bomb. I was like, I'll eat that.
Yeah, they got really good vegan junk food. It's pretty awesome. And then Solaris, they're right down the street from 8-Bit. Literally, you could probably walk there from 8-Bit. And they don't have food. They have food trucks that come, and then they have like a burger guy that comes and that they're associated with. But really excellent beer. They do hype beer, but I think their main focus is doing more traditional stuff and barrel aged stuff, and they have a very eclectic mix of beer. They're awesome. They've been around for a little while too. And I was introduced to them by my friend Tom Ham. So.
Tom Ham. I'm going to sneak in with, speaking of classic beer styles, I did get a Bottle Logic beer, which seems to be, they're focusing a lot more on lagers. And I chatted with their owner, Wes Parker, at an event, and he said he wants to be the best lager brewery in California or the world. I was like, okay, that's a strong statement. Yeah, so I went and picked up some of their lagers.
There's a lot to live up to there.
I know, right?
Man, the camera does not want to pick up cans or beers or anything.
1,000 years of German brewing history, and he wants to be the best in the world. I'm like, okay, like I'm behind you.
It's an
more power to you.
But
yeah, I picked up their Fluid Dynamics, which is what I'm drinking now. What you got, Tim?
Let's see. I have something new for me. I went out to pick up some things and saw this fun little label that said Bob on it. And then I realized it said Bobtoberfest. And then I realized it was an Oktoberfest. And me and Oktoberfest, especially this time. This one's from Heater Allen. I haven't had much from that brewery. I know we've talked about it. I think Greg, you are a big fan.
All lager brewery out of McMinnville,
yeah, talk
Oregon.
about an excellent lager brewery.
Exactly.
They do a hef.
But yeah, I went to pick some stuff up last night, and that was on the shelf, and it looked cool, so I had to get it.
That's an excellent beer.
I'm going to be in Oregon in 2 weeks, by the way.
Oh, sweet.
Spending a week in Portland. Also, to match Tim, I'm doing an Oktoberfest as well. This is the El Segundo Hooftgold Fest beer. And yeah, it's fun having an El Segundo that's not an IPA. Which, spoiler alert, every other fucking beer I brought is an IPA. Because that's
if I
what
would have read our show notes, I would have seen that you guys had Oktoberfest beers, because I also have one, but I'm not drinking it right now. So.
Wow, fucked up if true.
Yeah, it's coming up later. So yeah, this beer from Harlan, like I said, it's their Japanese lager, super light and crisp. fantastic beer. It's got just a hint of hop bite to it, I would say, but nothing. Obviously, you don't want anything too overwhelming. It's a Japanese lager. You want it basically dry and crisp, and that's what this is. And I want to say I've purchased this beer probably 20 times, and every time it's just been fantastic. I haven't had any other IPA, like I said, but I really feel like they can't do any. They're just excellent brewers, and their branding for everything is just so clean. The light's a little overwhelming here. But.
Yeah, I know I think Kip, our good friend Kip at LAL Works, he's no longer there, but he made a Pilsner with jasmine rice, and that thing was goddamn beautiful.
Oh yeah, that LAL Works beer was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This El Segundo beer is super drinkable. It is just got kind of that like light brown bread, like toasty kind of character to it. There's no real hop character to speak of. Which good on El Segundo for showing restraint. They're like, when do I do the hops? But
what's the ABV of it?
5.7, little on
okay.
the high, or 5.8. It's a little high for an Oktoberfest, but
right on.
Overall, solid beer. I drink a liter of it.
Yeah, so this Fluid Dynamics, it's a Keller Pils. You don't often see a lot of Keller Pils out there, but it's got traditional noble hops. I think the Middle Frew, just standard German noble hops. But they do spunding in it, which gives you a super fine champagne-like bubble. See if I can get that to focus on there. Spunding is where you cap off your fermentation when it's almost done, capturing all the CO2 that's in the tank. So it's a more natural. It's not really like bottle conditioning. It's more like capping it just the right
that's how
gravity.
A lot of big breweries do that. The first one I heard of doing it was BrewDog, and it's a good way to capitalize on your fermentation and save money on CO2 because you're already producing the CO2, so you might as well cap it off. And it's something for home brewers that's been becoming more and more popular. Spike Brewing, before we were back a year ago, they actually sent me this pressure relief valve kit that they make for their fermenter, and I have a Spike conical fermenter, and it's made specifically for pressure fermentation. And I'm going to give it a try sometime. It's still brand new in the box. They sent it to me as a media influencer, and then I never did anything with it. So I'll eventually do something with it, though. And yeah,
let's do it. Let's
the
spun.
New rage.
I always feel bad. Like if someone sends us free shit, I'm not just going to hype them up if it's bad, but at the very least, I should say something about it.
I know. I felt bad again. Last year, it was just shitty.
Oh yeah, man. We had
yeah. There was
plus,
a lot going on.
The world.
That's the last thing they sent me, by the way. So
yeah, they have an Excel spreadsheet, and they're like, and he's done.
Check that one off.
And I don't blame them. It's fine.
They highlighted you in red.
The cool thing about Spike though is everything they do is like they're I think they even surpassed like SS Brewtech with the way they think things through and the detail they put in all their products. Like it's really good stuff. Like you could buy like a dinged product from Spike, like see they have a conical that has like a slight ding in it or a dent somewhere, and it's going to be fine, but you're going to save like $300 because they're not going to,
yeah,
it's messed
so
up.
what you got to do is like clip that audio and then send that to them, and you'll be back on their good list. Hello, Spike.
I wouldn't mind getting more free stuff, but I actually have to use it. So, and I have yet to brew anything since I moved.
Yeah, I didn't really talk about this beer, by the way. It's got that floral spicy thing, really crisp. It is foggy like a Keller Pils should be. Checks all the boxes. 10 out of 10. Would drink again. It's good stuff.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Wow.
And as you guys said about the heater, Alan, it is really good. It has that maltiness that I love about Oktoberfest. Like you said, Jason, I don't get any bitterness off of it, which I mean, for the most part, your standard Oktoberfest is going to lack that, which I've had plenty of Oktoberfest where somebody tries to bump it up and throw some, something weird in it and make their own spin. But this is good. Standard would have a nice big old stein of it. No problem.
Would you have two though?
Depends.
Not because of the beer quality.
Reminds me of being in Denver at Prost, one of the best breweries in the world.
Prost? Yeah.
Super awesome lagers.
So fun fact, my vacation that I have coming up, I plan to go to Denver, not for GABF, but for a car thing.
But
And
you're
then
gonna be there during GABF.
but it was during GABF. And it turned out that they like made it like kind of like a high end thing out of Telluride, and it was like way out of my budget. So I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm not going to that. But then I'm like, well, I don't want to go to Denver during GABF and not go to GABF. So then I just like I would rather not be in Denver that weekend.
But that's the weekend
to
to be in Denver during GABF because like all the events.
Yeah,
are
honestly,
and like there's a lot of cool stuff.
Well, I go to
going
Portland
on.
already, John. My tickets are bought, so I'm going to Portland.
You know, if you're gonna go to Denver and it happens to be around GABF, you might as well just wait until GABF to go because, like I said, that's when all the
it is the magical
cool
time to go.
down. Yeah,
like everybody who's into craft, like all the breweries have events, and you don't have to go to GABF.
This was the first year that the Brewers Association ticket sales weren't doing so well for GABF.
It's just too packed. It's too big.
And they're going to allow cider and seltzer to be poured because cider just got approved, I guess. That's a California thing, though.
It's California, yeah.
Being produced in a brewery, which was a what's the word I'm looking for? Controversial topic because it's like you don't brew cider, you juice an apple and you ferment it, and it's technically not brewed, but I think that's just getting down to semantics.
Do we really need different laws for different fermenters though? Like, I fermented a grape.
That's what I think too.
Barley sugar, like, just run your fermentorium and ferment whatever the fuck you want.
So fermented rice, fermented grapes, fermented, like anything fermented should just have one law, right? But people who's spent all this money to make a meadery and a cidery, they're like extremely pissed because they have this license that's really hard to get, and now a brewery can just make cider. Unfortunately, like the whole law hasn't been put out there yet, where breweries, they can't serve cider on tap in their tap house,
but they can make it.
It's just bottle. You can only package it and sell it through a distributor only. So if you're self-distributing, I don't think you can even go that route. So
I mean,
like,
we're all all aware that alcohol laws are a mess in general. Yeah. And while I think at least here in California, like they've made some pretty good efforts to, reduce the red tape and to allow for more things to increase sales, but it's still like such a mess.
All I know is that there's no laws while you're drinking claws.
Well, I don't see a lot of craft breweries going that road.
Haven't you read the clause?
If you're a cidery, does it work the other way where you can just start brewing beer?
Probably not. That's what it should have been. Like,
but it's not.
Honestly, no.
Yeah, that's weird.
It makes no sense. Honestly, makes no sense.
Well, it makes sense for craft breweries that want to sell more products.
Who's gonna do that though? Like, I mean,
who's gonna do that?
So if you're a brewery,
I mean, breweries have guest ciders on all the time. Like, you need something for the people that come there with their beer drinking friends that don't want to drink
seltzers.
Beer. Yeah, that's my wife. Seltzers is an option, but like ciders and wine also like have a lot of people that enjoy them, and being able to serve that, a lot of places do. They just don't make it.
In my opinion, it's beer, seltzer, wine, and then cider. You got to have, because beer and seltzer's pretty popular, and that's their clientele is beer drinking people. But like I said, Yvonne, when we go to a brewery, if they don't have at least like a rosé, she's like, man, I guess I'll have a Pilsner, because she's not a beer drinker, but she doesn't mind Pilsner, but she'd prefer to have like a rosé or something.
When every bar in the Northwest has like 2 dope ciders on, and it fucking rules. Like they have really good cider culture up there. So there's tons of ciders, and they're actually like interesting and not just like Angry Orchard, like sweetened fucking garbage.
Must be some sort of connection with like the lumberjacks.
I mean, Washington apple, right? They got a whole fucking apple thing going on.
That makes sense. They have apple trees. Like, that makes sense. Where the hell are people in California? Besides like
Oak Glen.
What's the place? Oak Glen and the one in San Diego, Julian. Besides those places, are they selling like bulk
Oak
tons
Glen
of
has
apples?
a whites only apple orchard that you can go
No
to.
doubt. Yeah, that's very true. Rancho Rio or some bullshit. But Yeah, I just don't see, like, unless you're buying juice from concentrate, fermenting it down, like, what's the point? Like, it's not. You're taking all the craft out of it. You're essentially just buying some juice and fermenting it and putting your label on it. It's a bullshit law.
Oh, so
We'll
you're
see.
not a fan of that law then?
No, I mean, okay, if Green Cheek makes a cider, like, I think I would be like, okay, I'll try that, because I know they're going to put the love that it deserves, right?
Right.
Like other big breweries that are like, hey, we got all this tank space, let's put some fucking cider in there, make some money off it, and then sell it out there in the market. Like, that takes a lot of effort and marketing, and you have to sell that. People are, I'm not going to buy it. Like,
If it's clear and yellow, you got juice there, fella. If it's cloudy and brown, you're in cider town.
man, like in England and Ireland, you can get alcoholic cider in 2-liter plastic bottles. Like, that's how like ubiquitous it is over there, and that's
To
what
be
it
fair,
could become here.
Alcoholic cider is a core part of American history. So, did you know that Johnny Appleseed was planting apples for cider trees? It wasn't
assume he
edible.
would.
The apples that Johnny Appleseed was planting around weren't made to be edible apples. They were made to be cider apples. Mainly because I don't know how much you guys know about apples, but if you just plant a seed from an apple, like, the apples that come out fucking suck. Like that, like,
Yeah.
usually they're shitty, and you
have
only
to graft.
you have to graft them. Like, you have to take the good apples and, like, stick them onto another tree, so that tree starts making good apples.
We had
If you
apple
just
trees in
plant
our
an apple seed,
backyard.
they make garbage apples, and they
We had
only good for
2 apple
cider.
trees when we moved in our house. We had 2 apple trees that were produced these little round apples things, and they were just disgusting.
But I bet they
So
make
we
cider
just took
good.
them out. No, they were like mealy, no flavor, bitter. Ugh,
I don't know.
out.
Speaking of mealy, no flavor, and bitter, I got a beer. I haven't even drank it yet.
That's not a good lead in, man.
For a new brewery that I've never heard of. No,
You're really
podcast.
shining right now.
You know what's not going to be mealy, unflavored, and bitter? Well, maybe bitter, because it's a West Coast IPA. This Sky Duster beer. Their website is weirdly sparse. Their Instagram has one post, and it's a picture of an old man wearing a Sky Duster beer hat.
Oh,
And their website keeps saying that their brewery is coming soon, but then they have like a super dry lager and a West Coast IPA, which is what I have, the West Coast IPA.
This doesn't sound too
I know
It
it doesn't sound promising.
They're called Sky Duster because apparently that's the name for those big, tall, skinny palm trees.
All right.
The Washingtonia robusta, Mexican fan palm, or a Sky Duster.
I want you to crack it, and okay, you already poured it. What's it smell like?
Actually, it smells
They're
pretty
out of
good.
LA. I've never heard of them. Huh.
Yeah,
Sky Duster.
actually, it
Smells
smells
like a ride.
It's got
at
good
Disneyland.
aroma on it, right?
Nope.
For like
It
in the
sounds like-
little
no.
kid section.
It sounds like a Knott's Berry Farm ride for sure.
Actually, yeah.
Crop
Butcher in the
duster,
chat
yeah.
called it the crop duster. I mean, they should have fucking saw that coming.
Focus.
I get a
Focus.
weird
There
beer,
it is.
you guys. So Stone sent me this beer. Stone Sapporo, I should say, sent me this
I gotta
beer.
change my address with Stone. I forgot about that.
So
I wonder if
they,
my new, people are
yeah, it's
Sitting
probably
on
getting
your old
shipped.
house.
So they even their email addresses are now like stonesapporo.com. So
Really?
it's real. Yeah.
That's weird.
This is a collab. I don't know if it's a collab or what they did, but it's called Fight On, a USC branded pale ale.
It is a
it's
co-branded beer. I don't know if it's a
co-branded.
collaboration as much as they.
It's 5.5%. It's got all the logos from USC. So if you're if you're
So
some other
does-
college, you're shit out of luck.
Does this mean that they're gonna sell Stone beer at USC games? or-
Yes. They
I mean, I
invited
gotta
me to
imagine the
their
entire point
box.
of that beer is that they could sell it at the fucking.
Well, I don't know.
Where do they?
Yeah.
They play at the Coliseum, right?
It's at the Coliseum, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Fucking
Interesting
ancient ass
beer.
stadium.
It's really old. I mean, it was part of like that '84 Olympics, and probably like I don't know. I'm no historian of LA stuff, but it's probably been there since the '60s.
I bet I haven't been to an actual proper event. I was at a show that on the outskirts of it. I went to a Warped Tour that was like around the Coliseum, but I imagine they got P troughs, right? That's my sign of an old low quality venue is if they've got like a 12-foot wide just trough that you got to like shoulder up with your bros and pull your dick out and
Ain't
piss
happening.
in.
So
I'm not a fan of that, dude.
Oddly enough, the Coliseum is 100 years old this year.
Maybe that's part of
that's right. It was built for the Olympics like forever
in the 20s.
Yeah.
1923.
I'm like, yeah, it's probably old like the Forum, but the Forum is just from the 60s or whatever.
Well, and they like completely rehabbed and like redid the Forum. I don't know, like what, 5-6 years ago before they reopened with like the Kia branding.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was closed for a while, and then they like did a whole big redo on it, and like came back with like the cool new hype social media like Kia Forum.
I've been watching that show on HBO. I'm fucking Max. Who the fuck? Don't call it Max. I'm fighting that shit. But the Lakers one with John C. Reilly,
Winning Time.
Yeah, Winning Time. It's been fun. So the Forum is pretty heavily featured because it's the Lakers in the 80s.
I've been to the Forum once, and I saw Metallica and Korn there.
I saw Metallica and Korn there on separate days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. When?
I saw the Korn Family Values tour with Korn, Rammstein, Ice Cube.
Oh man,
I went to the first Family Values tour in Vegas because I lived there at the time. So.
That same lineup, though, right? The Ice Cube lineup.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rammstein. That was good.
That's where I saw the keyboard player get. Well, he didn't actually get fucked with a dildo by the singer, but it was implied, and
simulated,
then he jizzed all over him with the dildo.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that clip.
Yeah. It was
it's
they like murdered the keyboard player and they put him into like a bathtub, and then they filled the bathtub with a shower of sparks, and then he came out in like a sparkly outfit, like because he's like metal now.
Oh, that's cool.
And then he got butt fucked by the singer in a simulated sex act.
Got to get the butt fucking in.
Rammstein fucking rules. We're making it sound like it's bad, but they fucking
it's
kick
very
ass. I've seen them 3 times. They're great.
I saw a clip recently where like the lead singer had like a backpack that shot flames or some shit. It was pretty cool. Not my cup of tea music wise, but the clips I've seen are crazy.
They're fucking nuts. Their live show is like one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
On the beer tip, this is actually a pretty good IPA. It's got a really good aroma. There's something a little bit not quite like keeping it from excellent, but it's actually an above average West Coast IPA for a brand new brewery out the gate. It's pretty impressive. So
what you got, Tim? I didn't see did you present us with your
I have not presented you anything yet.
Show me your second beer, please.
I will. Okay, so little backstory. When this show came up and we were gonna finally get back to doing this, I was like, oh, wait, I haven't like gone out and bought beer since probably the last time we recorded this show, which I know wild, but
we're
it's because
bad influence friends.
And I should probably clarify too, though, that I haven't bought standard beer. I've been kind of exploring the whole non-alcoholic world a bit. Not to say that I'm anything against regular beer or when my wife and I go out, love a good cocktail. But one of the ones I've talked about this brewery before, it's called Self Care. They sent me, and I'll give them a shout out. They sent me a couple of things. So this is Self Care's Bumber Brew, which is a collaboration they're doing for Bumber Fest, which is a music festival in Seattle, I believe.
It's Bumbleshoot, right?
Is it
Bumbershoot? Yeah.
Bumbershoot, yeah.
Yeah, I remember because it's the stupidest fucking name I've heard in my life.
Yeah, I looked at the lineup and there's like a handful of bands that I actually would recognize.
I feel like when I looked at it, it was like the headliner was Soul Asylum or something. It was like weird.
Fat Boy Slim.
This was like a decade ago.
Oh, is this a band?
Yeah. Anyway, so I just thought I'd bring it on and try it out. And it's a Pilsner.
Slater Kinney, AFI, Band of Horses, a couple good bands. That's who's at Bumbershoot. I'm looking at their lineup.
Bumbershoot.
Yeah, it's called Bumbershoot, dude. And it's the same logo, Tim. The logo, the way the writing is with like the weird little like circles cut out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like how the Bumbershoot logo is on the website.
Yeah, this is a Pilsner. It's like going to be the official like non-alcoholic beer of the festival.
Oh, dope. Sunny Day Real Estate's there.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
Sunny
awesome.
Day is good.
And Matt and Kim, I like them too.
Oh, I missed that.
Almost.
Okay, so I take back any questionable because now that you're mentioning more bands on there,
We're going to Bumbershoot. It's actually now. It's now.
Now
It's today.
Yeah,
Today.
it's literally right now. Matt
let's
Kim
go
plays in 3 hours.
crap.
Let's go sky. I want to go sky dust the Bumbershoot.
Put it in my Bumbershoot.
See, it's a Pilsner.
Right on.
It pours like a Pilsner. It tastes pretty solid. I'll give it
Can't
that.
talk right now. You got to go skydust the Bumbershoot.
Speaking of skydusting the Bumbershoot, my
The
next
best thing-
beer. Go ahead, Tim.
As I said, the best thing that happens is when Jason laughs so hard that he can't breathe or talk.
That's
That's
the
my
best.
favorite.
It's my favorite. I don't generally experience joy during most of the week, so
Yeah, dude. John, are you talking about your second beer or your third now?
This is my second beer. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I
What
never
you
get
got?
I'm
my
on
second
number
beer.
6.
This is a beer I picked up again at Barron's. It's from Maine Beer Company, and it's called
Lunch, dinner,
Little Whale Boat.
brunch.
Not lunch.
Oh.
They have
Yeah,
lunch there.
The lighting
But,
is just completely erasing the writing on it. When you hold
I
it up,
know.
it looks like you've got a blank.
Here, let me try this.
We're all struggling with beer lighting on this episode.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
fuck
good.
it. Doesn't matter.
We got good face lighting.
Yeah.
We're more concerned with our vanity than we are
Well,
with
there's not
the
much
beer.
to this label anyway.
Greg's
it's
is actually
it's,
going really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
what Greg's
basically
lighting situation is.
I just have my window open.
it's this is an IPA, and it is. I don't think they give any details on the beer. They said it has notes of grapefruit, pine, and floral aromas, and chamomile of all things. But it's named after a cluster of 3 small islands and ledges in Casco Bay, a vital link in the chain of protected islands conserved by Maine Coast Heritage Trust.
What was the name
Okay.
again?
Little Whale Boat.
Okay. All right. Let me see what I can find. I'm on the case.
Cool.
So while
And,
you're looking, oh, go ahead.
Right off the bat, this thing is quite piney, very, very hoppy. I had one of these last night, and it was like, it almost was dank. That's like how it was, like thick and hoppy, really, really rich in the hops.
You know why you're getting that dank? Columbus. It's a Citra, Mosaic, Columbus, and Talus,
There
which
we
is
go.
a kind of eclectic hop list. Talus is a really new school hop, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Think
I asked
I've
somebody
even
about it.
Ever had it?
I said, "Can you tell us about it?" And they just shrugged and they walked away.
Fuck. All right, I'm quitting the show.
And they're like, "Sup, bro?" And I was like, "All right, I get it. Hot puns."
This is from the 20th of June. So it says drink within 90 days. So we're right inside that window. And it's still, I mean, it's probably not tasting as fresh as it could, but man, it is still popping. And the cool thing about this Barron's store, they have every Russian River beer, including like Beatification. They're
That one's
completely
not as hard to
stocked.
get as it used to be.
It's not. No, it's more ubiquitous now. But always have Pliny, super fresh Pliny. Always have Blind Pig. Happy Hops comes and goes, but I think they usually have it.
Do you think it's because
Um,
like Vinny's parents shop at that specific store?
No, it's just I think it's easier to get Russian River beers. That's what it comes down to.
Well,
And
you
they
are
have a
pretty
huge
close to
cold
Temecula
box.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, their new
So-
brewery, they're able to make a lot more beer than they used to. So
But
being
they've
ubiquitous isn't a
expanded-
bad thing.
Like Russian River should be the model for every other brewery in how you expand. They have expanded in a measured, deliberate way.
Yep.
Where every other brewery's like, why don't we build capacity to make 40 times more beer than we make now? And they're like, oh shit, we are only making 10 times more beer and we can't pay our bills. Where
Yep.
Russian River has just kept it where
And they
just
did it.
slowly but surely you get a little bit more in stores, and it still it doesn't feel like it's everywhere. They're not turning it up on shelves. They're still like selling enough beer that it's selling through in a good amount. You're not finding
it's-
old Pliny sitting there rotting on the shelf.
Yeah. And it's the same price. It's still
Yeah.
expensive as fuck.
And they also built that secondary brewery with their own money.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. They're
Yeah.
truly like a family-owned business. Like they're not.
Their approach to their brewery is my approach to my house, which is I am not taking on debt to fix this place up. I'm fixing it up with my cash money I have in hand.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's what I did with my new house. I don't have to fix anything up, but the money I have spent. It's like I'm spending it. It's done. I added the house came with solar panels. I basically doubled my solar setup, and it's all this money I'm spending in 10 years. I'm gonna make it back by not paying electrical bills. So,
Do you guys want to know what this Phaidon tastes like, or doesn't even matter?
I do.
Eh.
It's a stone pale ale. How different does it taste than
All right,
stone
guess
pale
what
ale?
it tastes like.
Like stone pale ale.
Okay, it's kind of like an orange color to it, not a yellow. It's not a copper.
Oh, does it taste like Tangerine Express?
No, not at all. It kind of tastes like caramel malt and like a herbal hop. It's sort of on the British side.
Interesting.
It's not a super bitter bomb like a stone beer, but it is sort of orange peel forward, like a bitter orange peel, and like sort of chamomile, or like even an Earl Grey, like some bergamot comes through on the hops. Really nice.
Now that you mention
It
the Earl
looks
Grey,
nice.
I get that
So-
on my IPA too. Yeah.
So when did they discontinue pale ale?
That was like 6 years ago or something.
How
I forgot they did
How
that.
likely is it that this is just the same fucking?
No. So that pale ale, honestly, was like a really darker beer, and I remember writing them an email going like, "This pale ale is like a 15 SRM beer. It's like super deep copper, just a little bit of highlight spoken through it." So I do have those memories of that beer, and being super bitter on top of it. This is like doesn't have any of that. This is
Sierra Nevada
sort of on the
pale ales-
soft side.
So
Sierra
you're
Nevada
it's
pale ale is
apparently
pretty dark too, right? From what
apparently
I
you're looking
recall.
at Cascade, Cashmere, Amarillo, and Citra is what
Okay.
what that beer is. So Cashmere means it can't be that old because that's a pretty new hop.
Yeah.
So
It's not overdone. The aromatic hops aren't there. It's more malt forward pale ale.
I think that's the stone of today, right? Which is like they're making perfectly serviceable hoppy beer, but like it's not offensive, it's not bad, but like none of it is ever great anymore.
It's a
not-
festival
It's
beer.
not
Like if I
arrogant
bought this,
bastard.
my only complaint is if I was at a game and I was served a 16 ounce, I'd be like, man, can you just make that a 19.2 so I don't have to get up as much and whatever. Like, I think that's the standard for big events these days is 19.2 cans
of
and,
Golden Road.
why not-
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like it just makes sense.
You want to
Like, you're paying-
weeds for $15?
Well,
Like
is it?
I'd rather pay for 19.2 than a 12 ounce
Oh
or
yeah,
16
for
ounce
sure.
can.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not Fight on Cart?
There's no fruit. No, it's a beer. So,
Beer for a good
you know, if you're at the game, I say check it out. But you're not. If there's anything better, just go ahead and get that. And it's 5.5 ABV, so it's not like woo.
So
Good for college kids.
I got a beer from New York City, baby. The Mets, baby. Equilibrium Brewery.
Ooh, I
Uh,
miss Equilibrium.
The beer is called
Equilibrium.
Light at the End of the Tunnel.
Is it a light beer?
There's a little no, it's a hazy IPA. There's a little blurb on the side that says, "Help us ensure cold chain. Purchase cold, trade cold, keep cold. If it's not cold, ask why." Like
Cold chain.
Why isn't
huh?
this cold?
Jason, why is it? Why
Pardon
isn't
me,
it cold?
sir.
it's cold currently. It was in my fridge. It looks like a hazy boy. It's pretty. It's a little. It's hazy looking, but it has like that light at the end of the. So I feel like when you look at a hazy IPA and it just looks like cement and like the whole thing is like not even absorbing any light, you're like, that's not right. That's not.
No.
It shouldn't look like that.
That
this
grosses
doesn't
me
look-
out.
This does not look like that. It's got that kind of like the halo where the light is penetrating into it
It's
a little bit.
translucent.
Yeah.
It's the way a hazy beer should
Like
look.
the skin
if it's-
textures on a really good graphic rendering engine.
If it's like completely opaque, like I immediately think that it's gonna be it's gonna burn the back of my throat. It's gonna have hop burn, and it's gonna be like a chore to drink. Just by looking at it, it could be completely opposite of that. But having that completely opaque look on a hazy just turns me off. I don't like it at all.
That descriptor is one of the best descriptors ever, Jason, by the way.
What's that?
The 3D rendered skin.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. This is weird. It doesn't have hot burn. It actually doesn't have the like white sugar, like cake batter thing I would expect from a hazy boy. It's got a lot of citrus. Honestly, if you told me this was them trying to make Julius, I think I would believe it. Like Treehouse's Julius.
Mm-hmm.
But something's not
not
right.
not to be confused with like an orange Julius, right?
No, that's why they called it that.
Oh, is it? I
Because
didn't know that.
like an orange Julius, yeah.
Man, you're just full of fun facts today. I love it.
Did you guys know that you just can't go to Treehouse? You have to book an appointment.
That's
like
fair. I'd rather do
100%.
show up and
You
there's
have to
300
like
guys there.
You have to schedule your visit there.
Same with the
I wanted
courthouse.
to, real quick, I just wanted to shout out their Treehouse's YouTube channel. It's one of the best freaking craft beer channels out there. They're doing like vlogs from the owner,
Really?
and like all the brewery tours and super cool content. So check it out.
Dude, their social media game too is on point. Whoever is doing their photography is just a master. It is.
Yeah.
Their photos
It's really
look
good.
like I want to eat their photos. Like they just look so good. I'm jealous. I
should
I
tell
have
them that,
zero
like,
talent.
They'll send us some beer.
They're not going to send us beer. They don't need to send
If we make an
anybody beer.
appointment. Yeah, this one's pretty good. I would say it's above average for a hazy boy because it's not as sweet and it has a little bit of a bite, but it's almost like a orange juice kind of bite to the end where there's like a almost acidic sort of thing. It's a weird beer. I'm happy to try more of it, which I guess is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I wanted to hear about Tim's NA pills. Like, what's that like? Like, what does an NA pills taste like these days?
You know, honestly, it tastes pretty much like a lightly sweeter, less bitter standard pills. It was on the first pour, the aroma was a little like, it kind of made me question it a little bit. But the flavor, I mean, that's kind of the thing.
It's a delicate beer, right? Yeah.
That's what happens with NA beers. Is it's like you don't know what to expect, and I think there's like 2 or 3 different methods for making the beers. But the aroma is the one thing I've noticed on NA beers that is difficult to nail.
Yeah, it really depends. I've had some that get it really right and some that get it really wrong. And as far as like overall flavor, one of the biggest turnoffs I have to a bad version of like an NA beer is obviously that like warty sort of unfermented sweetness.
Yeah,
I don't get the sort of bad sweetness off of this Pilsner. It's more of what you'd expect from like a lighter, sort of less hopped beer. So yeah, I mean, I will say it's possibly not the best self-care I've had, but it's pretty good.
All right.
I just learned
I'll check it out.
Non-alcoholic beer that aroma and flavor profile, you just have to accept it because it's not beer. It's close to beer, but it's not beer.
It's like eating a vegan burger.
Exactly. It's you're
like,
not going to eat.
You know what you're getting
you're
into.
Not going to get real beef from it, but it's its own experience, and you
mentally prepare yourself for that like sort of different flavor than beef. You know,
the Impossible gets pretty damn
good.
close,
right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you want to go down the path of like not getting beef for your Impossible patties, I don't know if any of you have heard of a place called Mr. Charlie's.
No,
it's here in like mid city LA. I think they plan to expand, but it's basically a vegan McDonald's. The entire branding is like a sad face. It's like a yellow like sad face on a red background. Yes. So it's like all this stuff, and
you
it's
get like Happy Meals.
Yeah, but they're like Mr. Charlie meals or something like that. Yeah.
So I watched some.
We've got a place
German YouTubers, and they did like a burger tour of LA recently.
We've been there a few times, and it is really close to like covering exactly what like a McDonald's cheeseburger would be like.
Monty's Good Burger is like that.
Monty's out here is like a vegan In-N-Out.
Yeah, we have Monty's too, pretty close.
Yeah, Monty's, I guess the one here probably is not the original one. But I mean, everything is now, man. It's like you can't get fast food for fucking $10 anymore.
That's true. Even like Plant
The whole
Power.
damn world's too expensive these days. Anchor
Plant
Brewing
Power-
is dead. So is my brother-in-law.
Plant Power
We're
is
just
another
old
chain
guys.
that's out here. They have one in Redlands, and then there was one in Riverside downtown, but it just closed, and now it was some other generic burger restaurant. But yeah, go in there. I think my mom and dad took me there for my birthday one year, and I think we dropped like $80. And it's a fast food restaurant. Like that's their vegan food. It's just insanely.
Oh, I do that all the time at Hammerburger.
I dropped $50 at Del Taco because Jack in the Box ruined it.
I don't know.
How did they ruin it?
My friend got a burrito that was $11, and they're bad now, and they don't even have Jack cheese anymore. They're ruining
You guys, I got invited to my first Del Taco media event at Benny Boy Brewing up in LA.
Fuck,
And
I want to go. You need to tell them
they're
to
doing
bring
like
back the Jack quesadilla.
I know, right? Yeah, the CEO was there. Was like, by the way, I'm probably Del Taco's biggest fan. I probably spend like $5,000 a year there. But
Dude,
like,
the quesadilla is like $5 now, and it tastes like shit.
Dude, I buy a burrito a day at Del Taco. That's my breakfast.
Used to be $3.
It's so good.
Lunch.
I just get a bold red burrito. And
so, Greg,
chicken
you've been
stuff.
holding a beer can in front of the camera for
Yeah.
8 minutes.
I know my arm's starting to shake.
That's just because you haven't had a drink in 5 minutes.
I peeked my head into Gunwale Ales over there in Costa Mesa. Their only location now. They're in the process of actually installing a brew house, something that they've never had. So they've always brewed their beer at other locations and brought the wort over to be fermented on site.
Yeah, they had a bunch of like small fermenters that were stacked on top of each other, didn't they?
Yeah,
Do
they're
they
like
still have that?
8 barrels. Yeah, so like 2 levels of them. So they have a catwalk.
They had a really scrappy setup for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But the beer is still incredible. This is Barno. It's like a farmhouse Nelson rye IPA. I'll leave it at that
Okay.
because it's a fun one. I'll describe it after you guys bust out your thirds.
So I want to go back to Del
Shit.
Taco. What's this
Looking
thing
for a
they're
third.
doing with Benny Boy?
So they had it was a media event at Benny Boy Brewing in
Okay.
LA where they were like showcasing their like smoked brisket, and they had
Del
like
Taco?
brisket. Yes, it's on their menu now, and
Oh,
funnel cake fries.
okay.
Knott's Berry Farm. Anyone?
And what my complaint to the CEO was like, whenever you guys do this like funnel cake fry thing, it makes all the fries taste like funnel cake. Like there's this like powdered sugar note on everything. It's like dusted with
Oh, it just
Like-
kind of lingers in the
like,
air and gets
kinda
on
gross.
everything?
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's in the it's in the fryers. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, they
I've
like,
never
I
had
don't
funnel
know,
cake
man.
fries, so I don't know what they are.
And
so
for any fast food restaurant to even attempt doing brisket, like why?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
No. Like,
That's like
it's not going to
barbecue
be
shit, right?
good.
Right?
Yeah. And honestly, like brisket tacos, dude, barbecue people come at me, fucking do at me on anywhere but x.com, a site for Nazis. Fucking like brisket tacos suck. They just end up tasting like smoky barbecue and not like tacos. And
Yep.
I like brisket. It's a smoky barbecue thing. If
It's
you
not
put
a
it,
taco.
but if you put it into anything else, it just tastes like brisket.
Yep.
Well, that's I mean, that's not a taco filling.
No,
But they also have quesadillas with it, and there's like the $11, $12 burritos with it, and
that's what I'm saying. Del Taco with
Jack-
an $11 burrito. Jack is
Jack in
steering
the
them
crack.
wrong. They just want me to go buy that weed menu they got.
honestly,
I was not a
when-
fan.
When we go there, we just get the same thing. Yvonne gets a red burrito with no cheese, and sometimes I'll get it with cheese because I can't get away from cheese. It's so good. I even started buying real cheese for my pizzas because I bought
So-
a
What?
So John, I've been on a
Yeah.
real bean and cheese burrito kick. You
Jason,
ever had the
kind
bean?
of far away?
Oh, I kind of moved far away. Have you ever been to Miguel? Have you ever had the Miguel's Junior bean and cheese burrito?
Hell yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
I think
That
they
bean
have
and cheese
lard in their
fucking
burritos
slaps.
though.
Oh, probably.
Dude,
yeah.
I could
Yeah.
I could
I forgot
nap
about
on that burrito. Like that burrito is a pillow.
It's
Oh,
an
it's
excellent
so good.
burrito,
Like,
but yeah,
Just cuddle up to it in my burrito tauntaun and take a burrito nap. It's so good.
You
Like,
cut
I'll-
open the burrito and just let the
Just take a
beans
nap in
spill
it.
over you.
I'll get cheese.
I'm so sleepy.
I'll get cheese, but my vegan line is drawn at lard. I don't want I never.
Oh,
want
dude, lard beans are the best.
I don't
And
disagree.
bacon fat too.
But yeah, no lard for John.
Mm. You got
Ooh,
a
what is that?
normal?
Abnormal. All right, that's San Diegan, right?
Tim, you're holding up an abnormal.
That's
can.
so abnormal of you.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's so washed out. Love it.
Dude, what's
Yeah,
up
all
with
of
our
us, we're
cameras
all
and
struggling
beers?
today.
Like, everything
Well,
looks like shit.
I turned my exposure up because it's dark in here. Let me see if I,
I just
bump
turned.
it.
Yeah,
See,
I turned my ISO down.
I had to turn mine down because it blows mine out. It should always be like that.
Anyway,
Whatever.
so yeah, this is a Boom Bap Juice Volume 3 from Abnormal.
Boom Bap Juice.
Yep.
Volume 3.
Wow, pow, razzle dazzle, juicy
my
bait, juicy IPA, Volume 3.
That's exactly it. It's a juicy IPA. It's what it's called.
If the moon were made out of hazy IPA, would you drink it? Would you drink it, Tim?
You know, possibly. Yeah, this is a 7-1 juicy IPA. Inspired by the golden age of hip hop with the boom bap drum beats, Mosaic, HBC 586, and Nectarone with let's see, dry hop with Sabro.
That makes more sense now
Sabro.
that I understand the context of the name.
Yeah, exactly.
Volume 3, though.
I mean, honestly, I picked it out because how does this not stand out on a shelf?
Yeah.
And
like
you know
that a
me,
lot.
and I like picking out cans that are cool, and this one was rad, so I
It's
got
very,
it.
very Blink 182.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly it.
Cool. Well,
Dude.
my next beer, this is a Pizza Port beer again. Living this close to San Diego, although Pizza Port they're pretty ubiquitous. You can get them pretty much anywhere. But this is I think it's one of their newer beers. This is called Everyday Enjoyment.
Yeah, it's their new seasonal. Yeah, I actually I have that in my fridge. I almost brought it, but I do have a Pizza Port. You queued me up for a Pizza Port story, so I was looking at beers at the La Bodega as one does, and I noticed
or one.
a 6-pack of Mongo, and I'm like, well, Mongo's an IPA that's been around forever.
Yeah, it's a port brewing beer.
But something was a little bit off, and I was
It's
like,
Pizza Port.
Pizza Port is making Mongo now because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they sunset Port Brewing as a brand.
Port Brewing. So Tommy's still at the Lost Abbey, but Port Brewing for the most part is just no more. It's Pizza Port.
And so now Pizza Port is making Mongo, and I realized that like an hour after I left, and I was like, "Fuck, I should have bought it."
Yeah, I wonder if not that I remember Mongo having issues, especially like turbidity issues,
Chunky.
early on.
Oh
was a
yeah,
chunky
it would
monkey.
get chunky. Yeah,
Yeah, and they had like yeast. I don't know if it was filtering issues or if it's they did,
yeah.
can
The
condition.
yeasties. I remember on the show being like, "Look at this fucking pile of fucking yeast in here."
But I think anything going through Pizza Port proper, especially if it's going into cans, is
Pizza
gonna,
Port wouldn't let that out.
No, the quality is just gonna times 10 because another brewery that for Southern California. I was on beer Reddit, and someone asked if you could only drink one brewery for the rest of your life, and I was like, Pizza Port.
Pizza
Absolutely.
Port, yeah.
Fuck yeah, Pizza Port. Dude.
I mean,
Especially
Russian
if you
River is
can-
close, but I'd rather drink Pizza Port for the rest of my life than Russian River.
Because if you like, they mainly can hoppy stuff, but if you go to the breweries, they have every style you could want, and they're all great.
Yeah,
Like,
any
that's-
location's
they
good. I'll
don't
take any
miss.
location. Yeah,
That's my favorite part about going to the brewery. I've only been a handful of times, but the fact that there's all these things that like I see it on the shelf all over because they have pretty decent distribution, especially of like their main beers.
Yep.
But to go there and be like, oh, like it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always compare Pizza Port to, Belgium has Trappist breweries. Like we have our surf and pizza culture, and that's our like Pizza Port is our Trappist style brewery of California. Like there's nobody better. They just crush it. Like all their beer quality is so good. The atmosphere is always fun. Everybody's always nice. Like it's great.
Yeah, I was
Love
listening to
Pizza
the
Port.
last episode, or the latest episode of the Full Pint podcast, and Danny said his plan is to retire within walking distance of a Pizza Port.
Oh,
I was like,
what a
"That's
genius."
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Dude, that lunch special where it's like for like fucking nothing, you get 2 slices of pizza, which is half a pizza, by the way.
Yeah.
Like these gigantic slices and like a beer for like $10.
And
It's
we talk
amazing.
about like usually only the beer, but their pizza's really good. Like
Yeah.
that's the other like half of it's
Even
actually a
their-
restaurant. Like,
Even their regular ass pep is just like fucking fire. Pizza Port rules.
yeah, that I said earlier. I bought a Uni pizza oven, and it's not easy to use. There's a steep learning curve, especially with the stone base to top heat ratio. Like I've learned I have to if I'm making like a Neapolitan style pizza, I have to put it in there and turn the fire completely off. But the stone has to be around 900 degrees in order for the base to cook properly. Otherwise, it comes out raw. And the top is completely cooked, but the crust is just it's not raw, but it's like chewy. And
I've
it's
been
not
making
great.
I've been making a lot of pizzas over the last couple months, and generally I'm using a cast iron skillet, and I'll cook
Yeah.
them in the oven. So
That's the way to do it.
I get like a thick doughy pizza, which is what I like. Like I like
Yeah,
like a thick like focaccia like crust.
YouTuber Ethan Chabowski, he does I think it's a Chicago style, maybe, or I could be wrong, but it's a pan pizza. And the first pizza I made was in a pan like that, and it came out fabulous. But I bought an oven, like I want to use it and like make good pizza. So I'm getting close. So
I don't like the little thin crispy pizzas. They're not for me.
Well, that's what I'm making too, because typically when I'm making my own dough, I'm making like a Polish dough, which is you can do it over a 24-hour.
Because you're watching Ethan Chablowski, so you got to make Polish dough.
No. It's Polish, not Polish.
Oh.
But no, I watch another YouTuber, this pizzeria owner that lives in the UK. I think he's Italian, but he lives in the UK, and he's super lo-fi YouTuber. Like, but he's just knowledgeable. And I make his Polish crust, which is I think it's like a 60% hydrated pizza dough. But it takes
all
like
I watch
6
is
hours.
cooking on YouTube. So
What's that?
all I watch is YouTube cooking channels.
Dude,
I'm watching
YouTube
Maddie
cooking?
Matheson.
You turned
I'm
me on
watching
Ethan, Jason,
Ethan
and
Chablowski. I watch fucking Babish and all of his fucking sub channels and shit. And cooking YouTube.
I
is all
joined
watch.
Ethan's little. I don't think he's on Patreon anymore. He's got his own private thing going, but it's like $100 a year or $10 a month. And I just like, here's $100 because I've cooked so many of his recipes, and they've all turned out great.
His poblano tacos I've made as like a party trick, and like everybody's always like, "Oh my god, I've never had tacos like this," and they're
Dude,
amazing.
it's super easy. It's just
Yeah,
you take a big
and-
chunk of cheese, put it inside a poblano pepper, and fry the hell out of it.
I don't even do the cheese like that.
Oh, you don't?
No, I roast the poblanos separately. I don't do it on a stovetop. We'll do it on an open flame to roast the poblanos and then chop them up and put them on the flat top.
That's basically what he does, though, right? He chars the poblano, but then stuffs it with cheese and chops it up.
Yeah, I just don't do the stuff in it with cheese.
Oh, okay. Well, you get the same result.
That's more for show.
Yeah. Good channel. Check him out. Ethan Chabowski. It's his last name
Chabowski.
is CHLEMBOSKI, I think. I could be wrong.
Oh,
I call him Ethan Chablomi, which is disrespectful.
ciabatta.
Okay.
Anyway, this Barno from Gunwale is one of the weirdest beers I've ever had in my entire life.
That's surprising.
It's sort of like a saison meets an IPA with Nelson hops. It's so hard to describe. It's like sort of got cedar notes to it, like a wet cedar meets like a wet forest, like flowers and wet forest. It's like a hike with petrichor and wet cedar somehow, and some diesel fuel from the Nelson. It's
what is petrichor?
It's the smell when it's raining.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, that rain smell. You're like, it smells like it's raining.
I love that smell. I didn't know
It's
it had a name.
petrichor.
Huh.
And it's very floral, and it's just a weird beer, but I like it. It's got this acidic note on the finish, which it's super bright and sort of woody at the same time. This is a weird one. If you ever get the chance to try Barno, it's a perfect name. Sort of barnish, like it's like you just painted your barn with diesel fuel and cedar. I don't know, man.
Greg's descriptions
It's crazy.
are my favorite.
Dude, it's a weird my brain broke trying to figure out words to figure out to describe this without like making it sound gross, because it is still good, still delicious.
Painted your barn with
diesel fuel. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. And some gooseberries.
I mean, it makes sense in my head. You definitely convey the smell properly, but wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad I tried it. It's super fresh, super delicious. If you're ever around Costa Mesa, yeah, pick up a 4-pack. It's fun. Blow your mind.
So this beer from Pizza Port, Everyday Enjoyment. This is made with New Zealand Cascade, Chinook, and Strata hops. Very good. Typical, run-of-the-mill, excellent Pizza Port IPA. Crisp and dry, super West Coast. Not too danky. Not really on the fruity side of things. I get more of like a floral edging on kind of a sharpness on the hops. And I think that's probably the Chinook coming through.
Most of their seasonals aren't that bitter. Would you say this fits in that mold as well? Like, aren't that bitter compared to like a Swami's? Like, they're classic recipes, I guess.
No, it's more of a softer bitterness, I guess. Yeah, it's not as bitter as Swami's. It doesn't have that bite. It's more of like a tongue coating kind of gradual bitterness, if that makes sense. But there's the one they put out before this. I think it's Joys of something is what it was called. And I forgot the hops that were in that, but I was not a fan. It had like this weird aftertaste. And I think it was from one of the specific hops that they used. I'm going to try to find the beer, but not everything from Pizza Port is a winner for me.
Whoa.
What?
And
Stop the show.
That's a subjective thing, right?
I'm gonna quote that out of context.
No.
Dear Jonathan Pizza Port.
Let's see. It's called Joys of Summer, and do they list the hops? Oh, Citra, Mosaic, and Waimea. And I think the Waimea hops I wasn't vibing with. So, and that one's still on shelves.
John, I think you misled DJ Tusk on Twitch because he thinks that we are pre-recorded now. but DJ Tusk on Twitch, we are here now in real life. But this is us recording our show.
Yeah, we're
so you're getting like
rebroadcasting
the
a show,
live,
chatting
unfiltered show, and then we edit this into the podcast. So we're here now. So DJ Tusk, if you want to show ass
Shout
or
out.
whatever, like we're here. I don't know how we see it, but
Believe it or not,
if that's what you're into.
we're live. So you said you're going to Portland in a couple weeks, right, Jason?
I am. Yeah, I'm super fucking hyped.
Because we brought, since we're talking about being live, I think for now we're gonna ease back into things and record like every other week or 2 times a month, whatever it works out. Because Jason's gonna be gone in a couple weeks, so he might not be around. But
I probably can get one in before we go. So I think
Okay.
we're leaving like the 19th or some shit. So
and that's mostly for me because editing, it's not difficult. This is a very first world problem kind of thing, but I don't want to get overwhelmed like I did before, where it's like I have to do a weekly edit, and there's a lot that goes into it.
You do a lot of work, John. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I
Definitely.
appreciate that. So we might go back to every week, but for now we're just doing every other week. Just a little content note there.
Speaking of Portland, I got a gigantic beer.
It doesn't look gigantic.
So Gigantic Brewery in
It's an actual
Portland,
brewery.
Oregon. And this is their Enjoy House IPA, and it's got like a DJ with 2 ladies drinking beers behind him while he's on the 1s and 2s spinning his fucking records.
I like that you're whispering into the mic too.
Am I whispering?
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
I'm just leaning into it.
You're just sounding very sensual.
I was very close to it. It's very sexy. And then so this bottle, it has like embossed into the bottle, it says bottle drop, please return, refillable. So maybe at the brewery you can bring the bottles back like it's the 70s.
Or Oregon's
Yeah.
the Oregon's one of the states where they have like a bottle drop recycling program. I remember reading about that many years ago.
That, right? The Oregon recycling is like crazy. Like you can go to like Plaid Pantry, which is Oregon 7-Eleven, and then just bring a bunch of cans you found, and they will give you the money right there. Like, it's not like you have to wait for like the weird recycling trailer in the parking lot or whatever. It's like, no, you just bring your cans to these to like whatever convenience store, and they'll hand you money. But this is almost feels like they're like, bring this back to the brewery because we fill these back up and sell them again.
That's super
That's
smart.
cool.
I love that.
That's so Oregonian. Like, hopefully you
This
don't get
beer's-
dysentery.
It's a little cloudy. It's not, I don't know, I would say hazy. It looks more like an unfiltered IPA. But
it's not gold, it's brownish. A brownish hazy? Or it's
no,
just the light.
It's pretty yellow. Yeah, the lighting in here is weird.
Okay.
Kind of old school good. It's got a lot of those like danky. I want to look up what hops are in here because I'm getting a lot of C hops on this. When do you guys go and I'll figure out
Come
what's
to
in
shops.
it.
I want to know how Tim's abnormal beer was.
Yeah, while you're looking that up, this abnormal beer is a juicy hazy boy for sure. It is citrusy, but so they make note of like tropical and berry, and maybe that influenced me because I read it before I tasted it. But I get that sort of like berry note for sure. Kind of like a tropical berry juice with like just subtle hints of a bitter. Not like this is not at all like it falls directly into that like smooth sort of murky juice boy category, I think. But I feel like that description always sounds so like
no, it sounds like you're describing a hazy IPA.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it's
always
a hazy IPA.
Note, you know?
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Where do we all stand on hazy IPA? Like, I personally, I haven't had a hazy IPA on purpose in months. It's been strictly
It depends
West Coast
on the
IPA,
brewery, man.
IPA.
Like, if I go to, so I've discovered I do like Green Cheek's hazy IPA quite a bit. It's actually, they're balanced and they have, they're not super duper like sweet. They're digestible. They don't feel big and full on you. And the ABVs are generally in like their single IPAs are in the 6-ish, which I love. And their doubles are in like the 8.5 to 9, but I never drink those. Other breweries, I just can't do it, man. Like I always try like a little sample. I'm just like, I'd rather have West Coast.
Yeah. When they were,
go ahead, Tim.
I was gonna say when they were hot, like I was all about the hazy and the unfiltered and the New England and all that stuff. But I definitely think last handful of years, it's just been like, okay, it's all the same. Time to move back to like people started doing that. What you say, John? Like not modern IPA, but like we were talking several times when we used to record on the regular about like this sort of new IPA that's not quite a hazy, but not quite West Coast. And that was kind of starting to move back into the realm of like what I would like. And now, honestly, I'm back on like, I need a good just bite, like good West Coast. I'm kind of done with the juice for a bit.
Yeah. I have no desire to drink juicy hazy IPAs.
The beers are so soft on the palate, and they're close enough to an IPA to remind you of it, but far enough away that you're like, yeah, this is it, but missing. And like, I get it, right? Like there are a lot of people that just don't like bitterness, right? Like in America, especially, like sweetness is the dominant flavor that people like. And getting a hoppy beer that is a little bit on the, or a lot of times a lot of bit on the sweet side without having to deal with the bitter is the win. And I really think hazy became the shorthand for IPA that's not bitter.
Yeah.
And for your average like casual beer drinker, they just know if it's a hazy IPA, it's not going to be bitter like that time I tried that other IPA and it was really bitter and it turned me off. But the flavor profiles are just they're soft and flabby and just not they don't have the boldness that made hoppy beer what it is, in my opinion. And although again, I like the one that I had a little bit ago from Equilibrium in New York. That was pretty good. Had like a bit of a weird acidic bite to it, but I like the bite. Like I want the bite in the beer, and that's what I'm going for. And hazies I think deliberately by style remove the bite, and that's why it's just not
That's
for
the
me.
whole point. That's
Yeah.
They're meant to be juicy.
Yeah.
And juice, I mean, it can be bitter. If you drink like orange juice, like that's got a bitterness to it. But when
Right.
it comes to beer, if you're going for a hazy, it's understood that it's going to be something that's not West Coast and not super forward with the bitterness on the hops. So
Speaking of West Coast, I busted out my final beer. It's a Radiant Real Hop Wives of Orange County.
Nice.
The Nelson. And I never saw this before. Like whoever drew this logo on the side of the ladies with like hop hair.
Yeah,
is
I love that.
freaking
That's so
genius.
good.
So rad. Oh my god, I'm gonna get a tattoo of that on my.
If only we could meet ladies with hop hair, that would really play into
yeah.
all of our interests.
Next time I go get my haircut, I'm like, can you get me this? But it's a single hop beer, obviously, and I poured it quite some time ago. It's still crazy head. Looks delicious, so I'll follow up with that in a bit.
Jason, what you got up next, man?
I'm still drinking this gigantic beer, and it's really good.
Okay, so
I was trying to find what hops were in it, and I couldn't. But I did find that it's a collaboration with Von Ebert Brewing in Portland, which they used to be Fatheads.
Oh, I remember Fatheads.
They were the Fatheads Brewery in Portland, and something happened where Fatheads didn't want to franchise anymore, so that facility became Von Ebert. And apparently the name Enjoy House is they met at the Tokyo Hood to Fuji Beer Fest, where I guess a bunch of Oregon breweries went to Tokyo, and they saw a second story window with Enjoy House painted on it that was lit with Christmas lights, and they thought it was a funny name. And they found a really cool dive bar up there with streamers and balloons and cool music. So that's what this beer is named for. I don't know what hops are in it though. It's taste Northwest Danky in a good way. I like it.
Northwest Danky is delicious.
The last time we were in Portland, and it was dope. Like the restaurant was super clean, like big, and like they got a lot of money into that place.
It's Von Ebert now. Yep.
I'm moving on to my last beer. This, like I said, I did get an Oktoberfest beer. This is from AleSmith, and this is their Oktoberfest. This is, for me, another classic Oktoberfest style beer that comes around. It's pretty consistent with AleSmith, pretty consistently good, and I look forward to AleSmith's version every year. Sierra Nevada, they came out with a new one. I think, what was theirs this year? Was it a Märzen or a Fest beer? I can't remember, because they do change up the style every year.
They were doing collabs for a while with German breweries, but I think
still
they stopped
are.
that,
But
right? Are they?
no,
Are they still okay? Cool.
Yeah, I just I'm not sure what I want to say it's a Fest beer this year. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about Sierra Nevada, but yeah, AleSmith is like I said, they're a classic San Diego brewery. They're consistent. They make great beers, and I look forward to this beer every year.
Yeah, I remember when I would go to Total Wine and go to the seasonal section, basically pick one of every whatever season it was. When it came to Oktoberfest time, AleSmith was always there and always on the list.
Yeah, even with like international breweries, overseas breweries, like you can't really go wrong buying Märzen Oktoberfest / Fest beers. They're all going to be pretty damn good, and
I hope so. Yeah.
Unless it's like some obscure brewery that you never heard of and they don't know how to make beer properly. Like it's a classic style.
Here's our Oktoberfest, and it's like dark.
Yes. No, it's juicy.
It's our hazy Oktoberfest.
Oh no.
God, I want to throw up thinking about that.
What you got, Tim? You had a last beer?
All of my memories of Oktoberfest are pretty hazy.
I actually was ending with that boom boom bap.
Oh, okay.
Boom boom bap.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Dude,
gonna get you.
We like as a nation collectively just let the Black Eyed Peas happen. Like they kept making all of the stupidest songs we've ever heard in our life, and like we all just let him do it. And I think that should be a source of national shame. The Black Eyed Peas, like they're real
Not
bad.
that bad. I mean, come on.
Yeah?
So bad.
I guess John's getting retarded right now. Because that's a
That's
top,
the actual
that's
top
a lyric,
10
right?
hit song
Yeah.
from the song Let's Get Retarded by the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, there's
the
definitely
radio
some...
edit's definitely a better version where it's let's get it started. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's
in
what
here?
it was.
That is, yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
much better than let's get retarded in here.
Still pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's bad both. The Black Eyed Peas are terrible, and it's we should all be embarrassed that we let them happen. They're like the Chili Peppers of the 2000s. Except for the Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
2000s.
come on.
Californication.
God, the
come
Chili
on, man.
Peppers. Dude, at me on anywherebutx.com, fucking the Chili Peppers suck dick. Fucking terrible ass band.
Are
Sorry
any
if
of us
you're
using Twitter at this point? No?
what? No, fuck that
No.
site.
No, neither am I. Yeah.
No,
I haven't checked it in well, since Elon renamed it or rebranded to X, I have not checked it once.
I
Before,
deleted,
I would check
deleted
it.
my shit 6 months ago.
Yeah, well, I haven't. I don't want someone to take my name. I'm just
Why?
camping on it.
It's like,
'Cause
does
it's my
someone
fucking
take
name?
someone could take your name on
It's
Stormfront?
literally
What
John
do you care?
Holzer. Like if it was some other bullshit handle, I wouldn't care. But it's my name, literally.
Yeah, but it's a
so-
Nazi site. Who cares? Like, it's just Nazis doing Nazi shit.
Yeah, so I don't want someone taking my name doing Nazi shit. So
They
I'll
could
just-
do that on Stormfront. You wouldn't know because nobody checks the Nazi site.
You are such a
Anyway.
rabble rouser.
Are you guys on Threads or?
You
Threads,
hit me on
baby.
Threads. You hit me on Blue Sky. You can hit me on fucking Mastodon. I'm on
I
all
just
of them,
got
dog.
I just got a Blue Sky invite, and I think I found Jason. I think I
You,
Yeah, we're
you
friends.
blew a guy and what? Sorry,
Blue
erase that.
Sky.
There's just too much going on. I don't even.
Edit
I
out
lost.
Jason saying
I
the
lost
R
track of
slur.
it. The trending-
We're
An
talking about
invitation
blowing a guy. We're editing this whole
Yeah,
thing.
I get an invitation to blow a guy once, and
This is why this is what you get in the live show that we cut out.
The
of the fucking
trending
podcast.
because they have their own because it's a Jack Dorsey joint over there, Blue Sky, right?
oh, is it?
He's
so
like
that-
a
yeah.
minority fucking leader at this point.
but
Like, he
they
doesn't
have like
any
a
actual say.
similar trending section, and mine somehow turned into like
Is
you
it
can
furry
put
porn?
explicit photos, and so I enabled like like I don't want any filters, I don't care, lots of dicks, man, just lots of dicks.
You know, people are saying
the
that they're
clock.
seeing a lot of porn and
Meatspin.com.
stuff, and I don't see that on
Seriously.
mine. My algorithm does not have any furries or any dick stuff or anything.
Maybe I interacted with a furry and a naked dick, but at some point and didn't know it. But I get furries and dicks and the occasional.
you
tits.
accidentally
God,
cuddled
Or-
that
I'd be
furry
out
dick.
so fast on that.
We are devolving.
Maybe I was
fast.
scrolling and I paused too long on a post, like
Ah.
'cause some of these dicks are
Accidentally
unbelievably large,
paused.
and you're just like,
Like,
damn,
yeah,
look at
that's a nice schlong there.
look at that dick.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I
so,
finally got on Blue Sky. So
Real hop-wives of Orange County. It's no surprise that Radiant knows how to make a West Coast IPA. And it just goes down to show you, like, they're showcasing a hop from a farm. John Holzer has the hat on right now. And it just goes to show you, like, wherever they're getting their hops from like Crosby Farms or something like that, they really are super expressive. This one's like strawberry. It's got passion fruit and mango, really tropical, sort of on the gooseberry, sort of funky. I don't know if you've ever had gooseberries before, but they're sort of got this like a funky vibe to them. And you get that in the beer too. So it comes through on the flavor. It's nice to see a single hop beer that is in the 7% range. A lot of times, a lot of breweries like to do the double IPAs with a single hop. And it's just way too much, overpowering with the dry hop and so much sweetness. So this is just dry and crisp. If you want to discover a little bit more about really good hop farms, definitely pick out this Radiant Real Hop Wives.
yeah, we were talking earlier about breweries that during the cider discussion, breweries that have wine on tap too, and I think Radiant makes their own rosé too, which they have on tap. So I was there about a month ago with a friend of the show, Robert French, and Yvonne.
Oh yeah,
came,
I was out of town.
and, yeah, you were doing a wedding shoot, I believe.
Yeah, my niece's wedding.
And I think I had Yeah, I had a pre-planned beach thing.
Yeah.
That was
Yvonne
rough,
was
man.
bummed that Greg and Jason weren't there.
The beach we were at had like 5 flights of stairs to get down to it, but we brought like a whole like camp setup, so it was a challenging day. Hauling like an easy up and a bunch of chairs and coolers and shit.
You got your steps in that day?
Yeah, I was fucking dying. My legs were killing me for the next 3 days. I got one more beer. It is Urban Roots from Sacramento. I want to say friend of the show, but we've never like talked to them on the show or anything. They're just
I've chatted with the owner and brewer Pete Huey multiple times, and I'm always like, man, how do you guys do it? You're just like so good. He's like, thanks, man.
This beer
this is a controversial name for a beer.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make another hot take. I'm so fucking sick of this like hot dog sandwich discourse. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what is a sandwich? Like, who fucking cares?
Hot dog is not a sandwich, dude.
Like,
it's like a mini hoagie.
Right? I don't care. I just want like every time people are like, oh, but is a taco a sandwich? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
It's not.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up about the sun. Shut up about the sun. Like, God,
from a food writer, I would say a sandwich is 2 pieces of bread.
Yeah,
with a protein and a spread on the inside of the bread.
But it's not a hot
taco
dog bread. A hot dog bun is bread.
It's an open face sandwich.
Go fuck yourself. Like I hate it. Croquette. I hate the discourse so much.
Yeah.
I'm tired of bringing it up. And also, while we're at it, bacon, knock it off.
Okay, so what Jason didn't tell you, the name of this beer from Urban Roots is called Hot Dogs Are Sandwiches. So.
And it's got a hot dog. It's got a hot dog in the like sandwich, like the little plastic sandwich thing you'd get at
that's
7-Eleven.
Dope. Yeah, that's fucking cool.
Which like, again, I'm just exhausted by the entire thing. Like, who cares? A hot dog is a hot dog, is what it is.
I care.
Like no one calls it a sandwich. Like, god damn it. Like,
is a hamburger a sandwich?
Shit, yeah, yes, it's in the sandwiches section at restaurants all the time. But
by definition, it is.
This has Citra Mosaic and CTZ, which I haven't heard CTZ brought up in a while.
That's an old school term. That's
Columbus Tomahawk Zeus.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's great. It's an old school dry West Coast double IPA. It's Urban Roots, so what did you expect? It's gonna be awesome. It's fucking great. If I had one complaint, I could use a little bit more aroma on it. It's not super aromatic, but the flavor is really big. It's got a nice bitter bite. It's got dankiness. It's got some modern hops in there. It's a solid ass beer.
Urban Roots, go figure. One of my top 10 California breweries.
This Oktoberfest from Ale Schmid, which is what they actually call it, Ale Schmid.
Ale Schmid.
Again, really good. It's a Märzen German style lager.
What color is it?
It's that color. More.
It's fest beer, not Märzen-y.
Well, they call it a Märzen. So
does that have Munich malt then? That's the usual the difference.
This German style Märzen lager is our take on a classic Oktoberfest offering.
If it says Märzen,
Oktoberfest is characterized by a clean and elegant toasty malt character. Prost.
Yeah,
so they don't.
It's got some. If it's toasty, it's got that definite like Munich malt for sure.
Yeah, it's not like, I don't know.
It looks very light-handed with it.
It's bready to me, not toasty. Like toasty, I would expect more of like a Maillard kind of smell, like a char, but I don't get that. It's more of like a biscuity bready kind of thing.
For me, I get like Munich malt to me is like when you if you take like a wood fire burning pizza oven and like that sort of like when you take that pizza out of the oven and it's sort of like black and charred on the bottom, that's sort of like the Munich style toasty that I get. It's not like a bready malty thing. It's more like just like fresh out of the fire pizza dough.
No, I don't get any note of that at all. This is just
no
basically toast. Like a fresh biscuity malty aroma, and completely chuggable. I would definitely drink a liter or two of this. This is 5.5% alcohol, so it's not the lowest alcohol beer of today's session, but definitely awesome.
So I'm going back to Europe in March next year. So if anybody is out in London or Cologne or Brussels or anywhere around those, I'm renting a car this time. So I'm just literally just going to be driving around Europe. So it's going to be fun.
So you're going to the UK and Europe?
Yeah, I'm flying into UK and then taking the Channel train into Brussels and then renting a car from there and just sort of driving around until we figure stuff out.
That's going to be so cool.
How much was the plane ticket this time around?
$600.
And what was it?
Nice.
Nonstop flights on Virgin Airlines.
What was the price during COVID that you paid for?
400.
Oh, I thought it was cheaper than that. Okay.
Yeah, 400's, I mean, you can't fly to like Washington DC for like $400. So going to Europe for that's amazing.
But still 600 compared to 400 is still pretty great.
And direct flights too, that makes a huge difference. So I don't have to go to like Copenhagen and take another flight into whatever. So
yeah,
direct is amazing.
Or stop somewhere on the East Coast and deal with those nightmare airports over there.
Yeah. So if you have recommendations, you know, I'm always willing to put them in my list. And or for in the area, I get little alerts on my phone. Like, check it out.
All right, guys.
Cool. Well, everyone that's watching in the live stream, we are back. Technically speaking, like I said, we're going to be doing a show every other week or so, depending on schedules. It's very loose. It might not be all four of us. It might be three of us. It might be two of us. It depends on what's going on. But
it's going to be just me.
On consistently releasing episodes in the podcast feed because that's what's most important. So
I'm gonna go rogue and start recording shows and just sending them to John to release.
Nice.
Like, John, here's this week's episode. And
if
it's
you
me
want,
just obliterated, be like, I'm just drinking a Swami's.
I'll put it on the Patreon feed. We still have a Patreon. Okay. And, we still have 68 or so patrons. I'm sure
Jason's
we'll
wild
some
times
after we come back and post because I feel so bad for saying this. I still haven't sent out all the class.
Dude, what the fuck?
Shut up. Yeah,
I can't
my
judge
mom
John
died.
because
Give me
I can't judge John because I don't do any of this shit. So
it's hard.
You know who else hasn't sent out any glasses? Any of us. So you know we're all culpable.
There was someone that hit me up, God, last November, and they were like, "Hey, my husband, he had a glass from you guys. It has like green stuff on it, like green ink. It was the Pineapple Brett glass. I think. And
that's probably our rarest glass.
She goes, "Is there any way I could buy another one?" And I'm like, "No, I'll just send you one. Don't worry about it." She's like, "No, I'll pay. Let me pay for shipping." I'm like, "No, don't worry about it.
There'll be $500.
It's still sitting in the car. I took the glasses out because we were moving. I'm like, okay, they're out. They're in the box. I just have to put, like paper around them and then ship it. It's still in the car. And I feel so bad. I'm going to ship it. In fact, I'm going to ship it today. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ship that today.
Please ship that today.
I'll be like, sorry, it's a
year late. Do you want me to
sign
it? Can we make it better somehow?
What's that?
Can we I was like, well, you're gonna ship it today. I was like, can we send our autograph or something? Make the guy a video, be like, hey, this glass just for you. We love you.
Oh, you got to do a vlog of you going down and packaging it and putting your credit card in.
With the numbers facing
you going to pirateship.com. By the way, beer shippers, pirateship.com is your fucking best friend. If you're sending beer and stuff, or you're shipping whatever, pirate ship, it searches like USPS and UPS and whatever, and you can print your own label. Yeah, it's really easy to use. It's got a great interface, and the prices are really good. So pirateship.com. If you guys
I'm gonna ship you some beer, Jason.
Nice. What's
you can just
catch?
Drive over. There's no catch, man, and they don't sponsor us. I just have used them and recommend them.
Huh. But you don't have to
No, it's not like stamps.com. No, it's just you just go there and
sucks. It's predatory.
I sold some guy car parts and I printed a label. It was like $13, and then I just dropped it off the UPS store and it was easy.
I'm gonna stop recording, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
we
fine.
wrapping up.
You can stop recording.
Is our show over?
Yeah,
I had to pee.
I think you were gone. I did a little outro kind of thing.
I had to pee.
It's all good, man.
All right. On that note, dudes, it was
We're
great
exporting
seeing you
as
all.
WAV, right? Yeah, here we go.
Waves.
Wabbing it. Hey Tim,
I'm
nice to see you
wabbing it.
again, man.
Yeah, likewise.
Hope everything's good.
So far, so good. Yeah.
I just shit my pants at pirateship.com. Simply artists. Thank you.
Nice.
Pirateship.com.
Yeah, likewise.
You, Tim. I didn't
Until-
know if you were gonna actually be here because you guys have been traveling a lot.
Yeah, we've taken we slowed down for summer, so but we're picking back up in winter. So
Traversing
Where,
your
where,
life.
where
on
have you been this
Jeopardy?
year?
what? No, we went to a recording of Jeopardy.
Oh, she just stood behind like one of the.
They have a podium, like a photo op.
Okay.
Was it before the strike? Because right now they're crossing strike line like assholes.
They haven't called for a boycott yet.
They Mayim Bialik, who is problematic in of herself, even stepped out because she's on strike.
Good, she sucks.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
yeah, but also like she did a good thing on accident.
Yeah, that's fair.
You hear the video game? You guys
broken
hear
clocks
video
right
game
twice a day,
video
right?
game voiceover actors are going to go on strike as part of SAG-AFTRA?
Yeah, I saw that. That's gonna be wild.
Good.
Anyway,
Strike
I got
all
a
the
jet,
things.
guys. So take it easy.
Peace, bro.
Thank you.
Okay, Tim. Bye.
See ya.
You guys can hang out.
Later, buddy.
I'm